you to say?
What you to say?
What you to say?
What you to say? A big hoopla where they happen around the country is that a lot of people feel like this proposed bill is being done haphazardly without consultation or any other parties will be affected by it. Is one thing I could say that a major point of discussion. So that's true. So open the floor to anybody who want to chime in for first reactions when they see the proposed bill come out. What I mean, the first thing pop in upon the head when you see it or when you hear upon it, just initial reactions about the new trade licensing act.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I still somewhat clueless to what they try to get across, because at the end of the day they bring out one app, however they discuss with the people there, at least broke it down in layman terms to decent people. I guess a lot of decent people still, now understand how you affect them personally and so forth. But like how Uncle P me do the situation with the COVID, whereby the man come out and discuss the mandates and broke it down for everybody. That they really need to do that with this, because then I honestly feel as if though wide misunderstanding the go on, because other people they're under the presumption that they have to pay this exact amount, and it does say maximum of X amount of dollars. So where people fall and which bracket people fall into, I have no idea. So yeah.
Yeah, that are a good question. You bring up a lot of good questions where need to get asked, and I feel like we kind of get like he's what call it curveball with it, where it's okay for have my incentive to try to get people to pay pay a trade license to operate as a legit business, because I did hear or see what like the Minister of Education they post about fairness and having everybody run the business for competition. It makes sense that everybody should pay the proper fees and what they need to do. But the problem come in like say transparency. They not explain nothing, which I don't know if they intentionally show the bill or the bill was the list, or if it was leaked. But even if it just get leaked, somebody should just step up and say, okay, make us break down how this works.
Definitely.
How there not something set yet. And yes, they do have some information where people they say that, oh well, they're in place yet. They're not something where we're set in stone and we work it out. But they're not enough. They not try to speak to everybody about it. They're like we say it, but when it comes to other things, they're quick for go and pop up press release and explain it. But with this, they're like, well, I don't call that, because like I said, there is a lot of misunderstanding.
And another aspect I feel as well is that the general public always, I would say, always feel left out when things like this happen, because this okay. So on the basic, to me, then the bill is getting proposed for a way to go into the future of legitimizing our businesses. And we all pay taxes. Because the minute you go to the grocery store, you pay the tax. You might not see it that way, so, but everybody pay back the piper. Give to Caesar what is to Caesar. So I don't think nobody have an issue in regards to paying the tax. I think we need to do a better job as our government and as our people to have their kind of forums before things like this get leaked out, and not always feel like we need to hoard information will eventually affect the entire public. Because I know, being in several different industries, I've worked in the tourist industry, in the audiovisual industry, in the customer service industry. So I could sit for a son where our corporate organizations have to pay our tax. And to me, then I would say the biggest wake up call where people feel like this is our direct attack is the small business market. Because for a
Definitely.
long while, the small business market operate from a standpoint, to me, where the government don't really take them serious and don't really come together and decide that, okay, well, I've seen in instances whereby Beltrade reach out and other different organizations do the maximum of what they could do in terms of educating people. So I know I say our lack of having information out there, but when you talk about legitimize our business, I think a lot of people have a dream about what they would want to accomplish, but they never really sit down and explain, or it has never been really explained to them how grassroots level as okay, these are the exact steps where you need to do in order to legitimize yourself. Because like for entertainers, for example, you could put like what we said the last time, you could put on a song and you could be the artist, but before you even start to release your music, you could have your content put together, but you have to have certain things in place before you put your face to the name per se. Right?
Paying the money is one thing, but what would help is the transparency, like you said, in terms of knowing where the money goes. Like
Yeah,
where I would have glad to know. I would have glad to know where my money to go.
Besides all of that, I just want to go back to one little point is that not everybody okay with paying it, because a lot of one argument that people they bring up right now is that we just the recover, right?
From
Everybody
COVID.
feel the pandemic, the effects of the pandemic. Pandemic still happen as well, right?
We still
we get to another wave right now, so we can't forget that. But we just things just to open back, business just to start, get to our limit, and particularly with the peddlers, that's something where I say where
I believe it's on call for.
yeah, the people who sell mango on the street where they try to do tart or something like that have to now focus on per municipality. Let's say that they had maybe they go 1 day here or 2 days here, and then they go about
right. So like you have to pay a different tax if you sell your tamales at City and a Ladyville. Like things gonna get explained.
Yeah, and I just feel like the timing of it was very insensitive. I don't say wrong or right, but it was very insensitive with this timing there. I guess for us, when we made to discuss the music last time, I think we could go back to detail with the music itself now with this trade license, and that's why I think the most confusion come right now.
Yep. Entertainers have a maximum of, look at let's go to the record, I think a maximum of $200
per day.
It says entertainers maximum fee at $200 per day here. Which entertainer?
Well, that was very vague. That does that doesn't show some like.
You talk about a local entertainer. You talk about city clown. You talk about a singer. You talk about.
Well, they try.
Kenny Morgan and them boy will do them like pieces like
they try to explain who all including it, right? But the issue is where does the cap happen? What percentage? Like, okay, how do I decide that I only need to pay $10?
Right, as opposed to the 200.
Yeah, like what percentage of the money I make will become that up to that amount. So if you make $200, I mean, of course I pay $200.
Yeah.
But how much are they pay? That's what you need to know. And I understand that they have a cap because anybody operate, in whatever municipality they say. You have you have to pay a trade license, but my thing is as well is it not really fit the vast. The now one says fit all type of trade license, man.
Because all right, I will give the example of this. What we understand a trade license from as is right now, to the layman, I would say you open up one shop, you want to sell goods out of that shop. You need to have one license in order to sell goods out of that shop. We could all agree on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now when you arbitrarily say your business, your field, your okay, so everybody have to pay one trade license now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair? Because to me, I think the term per day, just I think that will frighten people the most.
Okay, when it comes to fairness, have to be yes. I have to be honest. Yes, it's fair because you're the operator of business. If you want to be a legitimate business, you should pay a trade license. The per day, yes, are definitely an issue because unlike when a lot of people might think that this man only got 5 shows for the year, I think they have people that operate every week, 3 to 4 days out of the week. They perform or they do something of that sort.
Yep.
And that way the clarity need to come because some mean you have to tell me that I have to find a trade license per day every single day.
This is what I'm saying. Because our regular store owner pays a trade license per year. And to be honest then guys, it's for their revenue where they bring in could have never match one performer or one peddler. So why you feel like no, you think you so smart that I say okay then somebody will make this much per day have to pay one tax per day.
Was an implementation date provided? Like
it's just a proposed bill in terms of
they will get introduced to the house and they will have like I think 2 more meetings if they're not already have because time passed.
Okay.
But
judging from the time when we record this, we don't know if this will already be law by the time it's get released, but the argument's sake it hasn't.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully common sense prevails and
I mean again fair to them that they had that open floor where you could go and you could raise your concerns and you could have made they had that I don't recall, but
the fact that they did is
they represent that because you have to fine tune it, man. And again, I understand. I don't know why it's been a terrible thing. And so I understand what they try, though. I just feel like the way they went about doing it, it may one insensitive, and it may just half-assed. They never take the effort to say, okay, we care about what other things and we care about our business now. They don't show that to me. They show like, listen to me, you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And other figure it out. That's something like that.
Of course, and to me, having the attitude, you are definitely meet resistance. Mm-hmm. But this is our learned behavior when we practice for long before this app come about. So that to me that even was more deeper conversation in terms of how different businesses or different people where different industries get treated differently based on money. Long story short, money talk, bullshit run marathon. Mm-hmm. So if you are a big name company, you to me then the market was set up so that you could win. If you start with initial influx of revenue, the market will open up to make you win. So if you don't want importer of goods and all of that, we will make sure that you pay the least amount of duty. We will make sure that you get the best storefront. We will make sure that if you want land here, there, or everywhere, you are looked out for. But for the local community, we need the infrastructure now. We need startup funds. We just have to figure it out for ourselves. And I say we because I consider myself a part of the smaller market. Because I don't own an LLC. So in the event that I want to diversify myself into a pedal business now, I really have to consider what are my liabilities, what are my expenses from a different level.
Yeah. There's also a lot we have to look at. Or a lot they need to work on. And because for me, as a business owner myself, I have an e-business. I don't have no problem on my end. I just have to, there's something I have to pay and I would appreciate, legitimizing and say, okay, go through the proper channels and I could promote my business properly. But that just look from the outside looking in for other businesses. My girl, when I'm a musician herself, there were a lot of questions get raised just by her because she, if she teach her business, if she do private business, private teaching, sorry, will she have to do that every day per class, or does that count as entertainment, or there's just a lot we need to get answered before the bill get passed. Yeah. And I don't see why you can't just do it per year, because if they could make the excuse that you don't know how much shows you are booked, but nobody don't know how much money they are making a year. No business out there will know that they could
forecasting. They could guess.
You could project. Yeah, you got a projection, but you could. like I said, you're the guest, and you could lose money that year, but you have to pay that trade license. You could make way more than what your trade license when you say.
But you still pay.
And the thing is too, even that, because usually they factor in space. Like they will factor in per like depending on who per square millimeter, I forget.
Square inch, square feet.
Something like that. But even space they will factor in. So how you want to do this now with
e-business when I have no.
Yeah, that how you calculate that. That's what they try to understand. How you add the things how you
right.
there's a lot you need to get into with that, man.